Hey everyone, this is Debbie Happy Cohen here, and I'm the founder of Joy-Based Living. And I also run a group called Wholehearted Networking, and I'm always coming up with ideas that help people to have like a stronger sense of themselves as they go forward and for smooth sailing. And one of our members today mentioned a hand mnemonic that I recently created that she really likes. And she shared about how she's using it, and we call it LUSH Rest. Lush rest is feeling so restful on the inside so that when you're going forward, you don't feel chaotic. You feel at ease, you feel grounded, and you feel a sense of clarity. Now, before I tell you the mnemonic, I want to tell you a little bit about where it came from. I want to honor one of my favorite teachers, and he speaks on trauma and addiction, and his name is Gabor Mate, Dr. Gabor Mate. And he talked about the 4 irreducible needs of infants. And that's where this mnemonic comes from. 4 irreducible needs of infants in order to feel okay in the world. We actually all have these needs. And if we didn't get them met as little babies, we can still get them met as adults, but we're going to have to activate it for ourselves. But you don't have to have had trauma in order to activate this. We live in a world that's a little chaotic. So you can still kind of fill any gaps inside if you feel anxious or lonely or stressed, and see if any of these help you. You can actually touch your fingers as you're going about your day whenever you need any of these. All of them are going to have the letter A, and the thumb is going to have 2 letter A's. So we're going to start out with the first two of these needs for lush rest, for creating lush rest. The first one is attachment. We all have needs for attachment and for feeling a sense of secure attachment. Adults have this and babies have this. And the need is very strong in people who are caretaking infants and in the infants themselves. Imagine an infant feeling a sense of secure attachment on the inside. It feels like connection. And we all have to, as adults, we have to work for this. As infants, we shouldn't have to. That's going to take me to the second one. The second letter A is attention to the degree that the infant can rest. So if an infant is having to work hard for attachment, they're not going to feel rested. They're going to be looking at their caregivers and going, oh, they're not paying attention to me. They feel sad. I need to make them happy. Or they feel anxious. I need to make them feel safe. Now, an infant's not thinking these things. They're just looking for attachment. But as they grow older, if they're not getting that feeling of lush rest, they're going to seek it. They're going to do what they can. And what that's going to do is it's going to put their attention outside of themselves, where the energy for an infant should be being received, learning how to receive. You know, I know a lot of people who really struggle with receiving. I think this is at the core of it. And when it's not healed, it creates codependency. So it's like knowing what other people need, but not knowing what you need. That feeling of lush rest is a feeling of so much attention inward, so much quality of attention inward, that you're not longing for it. You're not feeling lack of it. And so those are the first two. So there's attachment and there is attention, ATT. And the attention is to such a degree, and that you're giving it to yourself, that it's to such a degree that you feel like you can rest on the inside. So this is a practice. This hand mnemonic is a practice. And the more you do it, the more lush it will be, the more lush your rest will feel on the inside. And I'll tell you how someone else has used it as well. There's 2 others, APP and APP. One of them is approval and appreciation. So approval is, at Joy-Based Living, we have this thing called the emotional ladder. I dropped something. And approval means approving of all of your emotions. that there is not one emotion an infant could possibly feel, and there is not one emotion that you could possibly feel that is bad or wrong. In fact, the emotions that are on the bottom of this scale are just as acceptable as the emotions at the top of the scale. And what that offers is such a sense of approval that you're never shaming yourself for any feeling that shows up. And that is a freedom that most people in our world today do not have. Most people shame themselves for some of the lower feelings. And as one of my other favorite teachers says, Brene Brown, shame grows in secrecy, silence, and judgment. And we should never judge ourselves for feeling any feeling. And trauma happens when we don't have any, we don't know how to regulate our own emotions. So we stay stuck in the negative feelings. That is what the experience of trauma feels like. And so when we give ourselves approval of everything we feel, that is one of the kindest and most loving things anybody could ever do for themselves or for another human being. That if I'm with you, you're allowed to feel whatever you feel. That doesn't mean you're allowed to behave however you want to behave, or you're allowed to say anything that you want to say. I'm not going to hang around people who are just being negative to be mean, or to even be mean to themselves, or to drain somebody's energy. But if they're looking to simply come to truth with themselves, all feelings are totally acceptable, because this is life, and there's no person who gets out of here, of this earth, if they've lived for any number of years, who doesn't experience negative feelings. So to approve of every single feeling actually allows you to release them and let them move through you so they don't get stuck. Because when feelings get stuck, they turn into all kinds of mayhem in the body. Feelings are not meant to be stuck. They're meant to move like water, or like clouds, which is made of water. And then the other APP is appreciation. I'm looking at my notes here. Appreciation feels like eyes twinkling. So if you have received like healthy parenting in your life, you know what it's like to have eyes twinkling in your direction. And there is a feeling of, I'm appreciated for who I am. Now I can go out in the world and take risks and do things. And it's much easier to do that. If you didn't receive that when you were a child, there's good news. You can offer that to yourself, and you can find other people in the world who can get to know you, who are safe enough that you feel like you can be authentic with them. And then they can offer you a gaze of appreciation. And that's going to mean that you've done homework to get more comfortable in your own skin, and that you're willing to take the risks to let somebody else get to know your authentic self. It means you're going to learn emotion vocabulary, and you're going to learn how to honor yourself and honor other people, so that you can speak in ways that allow the full authentic you to show up, because there's greatness inside of you and we don't want it stuck inside. And so that is the whole point of LUSH Rest. Allows you to be more fully you in the world. It allows you to have a wholehearted, secure relationship with yourself. It allows you to turn your gaze inward in a healthy, kind way and let it go deep. And so the thumb, and I'll repeat them in just a moment, the thumb stands for when you have an atmosphere where, oh, the word is slipping my mind right now. I'm going to actually have to look at my notes. I thought I knew this one by heart. It's affection and affection. And I wrote something else here, but I changed it since then. It's affection and adoration. Sorry, that took me a minute. I'm so embarrassed. Affection and adoration, affection and adoration. So when you have an atmosphere within yourself, and hopefully within at least one other relationship, doesn't have to be a love relationship, it can be any relationship, where there's affection and adoration, that is an atmosphere where the true self can emerge and can flourish and can grow and can feel great and beautiful, so the greatness in each person can emerge. So let's review the mnemonic. We have attachment, healthy, secure attachment. We have attention to such a healthy degree that we feel lush rest on the inside, that that which is inside of us isn't seeking like a Wi-Fi signal that can't find a satellite. It's like, oh no, I've given myself enough attention. I've received enough healthy attention from others where I feel rested on the inside. I don't have to search so frantically for healthy attachment because I have enough attention. So attachment, attention, approval of all feelings, appreciation in the form of a twinkle in the eyes when you look at yourself. Um, that's a choice, by the way. That is a choice, and it's something that you can grow and develop. And when you look at others, you will be able to offer them a twinkle as well. And it really livens up the world. It brings more sparkles into the world, for real, for real. And then we have the adoration and affection for the thumb. So for example, somebody said to me, if I'm talking with someone and having an uncomfortable conversation at work, she said, I like the use of finger mnemonics. Which can I use this for that purpose? And I'm like, I wouldn't, if I was having an uncomfortable conversation, I probably in the middle of that conversation, because she was looking for something she could do, I wouldn't be like, attachment or attention, because those are like kind of more soft and vulnerable feelings. And if I'm in an uncomfortable conversation, probably that's not the moment for those. But I approve of all of my feelings. I approve of all of my feelings. So a sense of approval, so that whatever you're feeling on the inside, and I appreciate myself, I approve of all of their feelings and I appreciate them. Now, if you're dealing with somebody who's not kind or offers a sense of reciprocity of energy and they're a drain, I would just focus on myself. I would just be like, I approve of all of my feelings and I appreciate myself deeply. And then that would give you ground to stand stronger and clearer in that relationship, because then you're giving yourself affection and adoration no matter what's going on the outside. It really gives you more of a sense of control of your own ship. And so that's how this one person who had inspired me to do this video, when she mentioned it today, she said, I go about my day, there's so much going on, it's so intense. I've got the kids, I've got 10 and a half hour work days and more. And it's very intense, very, very, a lot of pressure, a lot of demands. She goes, I just keep doing that mnemonic and I'm getting a feeling of lush rest. And then I continue and I keep doing it again. And she said, it's really helping my day to go smoother. And so for that reason, I really wanted to share this with you. And if you want messages like this, if you like this kind of message, go to my Patreon page. It's called patreon.com/joy-based living. And you'll find the visuals for this, for Lush Rest. See, it's not really great here. There's a visual for Lush Rest, and you'll find a lot more videos. I've done quite a few series of videos that are very inner focused, in an honoring way, in a way that helps people appreciate their own authenticity and, dare I say, their own soulfulness and their own sense of worth in the world. And that's a great place to start every day. It's also a great place to end every day. So thank you for being here with me. And if you have anything that stood out to you that you really liked from this message, please post it in the comments below. If you have any questions, anything that is sincere and real and soulful, I will be glad to respond to. If you want to give it a like, thumbs up, share it with your closest and bestest, anybody who's open to being the best they can be and who could use some lush rest on the inside. I wish you lush rest. Bye for now.